the fuck? What are these things? Die! 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 I curse you! Marissa, it's COVID all over again! Marissa, I called your name! Ah, shit! Marissa! What the?
Oh, hey, Azuki. Just give me a moment. I have these new contacts I'm trying to put in. 1, 2, 3. Damn. 1, 2, 3. Damn. Maybe if I just give it another try. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Damn. Wait, what are you doing? Wait, where are you taking me? My contacts!
Shut up, your ass is always on some dumb shit. Sit here and watch your zombies as I go and buy a fucking weapon! Well, I woke up to this email, and not gonna lie, I was really excited. It's been a minute that I actually shot out of bed as fast as I did without grabbing some sort of caffeine product. And, this fucking sucks. Alright, look. There's a lot to go really explain with Killing Floor 3, and I hate to be that guy to go do a whole ass video essay on talking about the prior installments, but in order to go understand why Killing Floor 3 fucking sucks all the way from the ground up, you have to go understand what this series represents before and all the way at the beginning. So let me just save you some time and tell you this. Look, this isn't like the last video with Team Fortress 2. I may have some nostalgia for Killing Floor considering I played it when I was but a wee lad. The one difference between Killing Floor 2 and Team Fortress 2 is that at least TF2, modern day, is still a fine game. Killing Floor 3 isn't. And as a matter of fact, I'd go as far as saying I don't even call this game Killing Floor 3. I call it what it's referred to on the website. Project Nightfall. To be honest, I wish it was Project Nightfall, because it would make this entire reality less sad. But I'm getting ahead of myself. You already know the whole framework of this. You can skip at your leisure, I put all the chapters, blah blah blah, yep. This is the second fucking video you've probably seen of mine, okay? So you already know how this is gonna work. But let me just sit here and tell you, this is not gonna be a positive review, and as a matter of fact, it's gonna be me kinda being a little vitriolic, like in my Half-Life video. Please give me some time to explain myself, and I promise you by the end of this, I hope that my points make sense and that maybe, just maybe, you might be able to agree with some of my views on this. If my shrine maiden ass had to describe Killing Floor 1 in one word, I would say gritty, unsanitized, fucking disgusting. Literally. Every single map you go to seems to either be opening hours of the apocalypse, or on the other hand, some building that was seemingly left to rot for years. And this is, in my opinion, what makes Killing Floor 1 stand out from pretty much every game in its franchise, but also every game in its genre. But this game is probably one of the most kick-ass and raw titles I've ever seen in the horror genre. Killing Floor 2, while it's definitely horror, and I would say the art style starts to get a little, I don't know, medical, I guess you could say. Definitely a little bit more mutated than the last. And on top of that, as you can tell, the game is most certainly changed. In 1, you're very vulnerable. You can only really move fast when it comes to your knife. There is no sprinting mechanic. 2, you can definitely sprint, jump, and on top of that, I would say it's a bit flexible with how you engage in combat. When it comes to 3, well, what the fuck can I say about 3? 3 looks like an amalgamation of cyberpunk mixed in with Doom. I gotta be honest, this does not fit. See what I mean when I was talking about Project Nightfall? Because if it was Project Nightfall, I wouldn't really be caring so much, because you have 2 other games comes before it, and I would say this game looks so painfully bland in comparison. If I'm being honest, one of the weakest parts about Killing Floor's style, because it seems like both 1 and 2, they had this weird fetish towards like carnival horror and this weird steampunk aesthetic. In my opinion, I think compared to those two, this is painfully boring. Now, I hear a lot of you fucking typing right now, sitting there going,
Mr. Azuki Snoy, you seem to be forgetting the Zed economy update that actually already ruined Killing Floor 2's art style. That was something a lot of people fucking hated.
And yes, thank you, I was gonna get to that. And because you were so rudely interrupting me, see me after class, okay? I'm gonna beat your ass. So when it comes to Killing Floor 2, I started playing in 2017. The game came out in 2015, but the Zedconomy update came out in 2016. So the game was already in that cycle. Now, I do agree, yes, it is very irritating that for some fucking reason, there's some sort of something in the tap water that these companies are drinking from that just tell them, no, you don't get it. You need to go add these upsetting skins. You need to go add these eye-bleeding fucking character cosmetics. You don't get it. You need to. Yes, that is a fair point. The Zed economy has done more damage than I would say good. Of course, there is still some decent looking stuff in there. Whenever I play it, I'm not one of those fucking retards that like to go put on the fucking binoculars from TF2 or any of that. I just like to go make my characters look cool and look like they're all militaried up. And I know what you're saying.
Well, look at Killing Floor 1's art style, especially with all the DLC.
And I get that. There is some argument to be made there that, well, it seems like the developer's intention was to go have these kooky-ass skins. I'm not going to sit here and say that I know more or that I'm actually on the development team and I left because I had a huge argument with them, but I'm going to tell you this, that's also one of the weakest parts of the game because they had a cool art style that they, for some reason, felt like they need to go add these wacky-ass stuff to. And for those of you that still are arguing, oh, the art styles change, no, it was always supposed to be ruined like this, I present to you my final ace in the hole. Did you know that the original Killing Floor actually started as a mod for Unreal Tournament? And on top of that, as you can see with this footage that I've borrowed, you can clearly tell that Killing Floor was meant to go have this overall very horror and like gritty aesthetic. To all of you who just sit there and bitch and moan and like, oh, who the fuck cares about art style? Yeah, this is what I mean. When you have something so fucking cool and fantastic as the original 2 Killing Floors, yeah, then I would have to say I'm pretty fucking irritated to see that Killing Floor 3 is just some cyber slop bullshit. I don't know why they went to this direction, and honestly, this is already the first thing that really turned me off about the game. Speaking of turnoffs, I can't believe I have to actually ask such a fucking question for this beta. Why in the blue hell is there a battle pass in your beta that only lasts 4 fucking days? Now, I'm pretty sure I already know the answer, you know, it's just you can get a little bit ahead on it if you already planned on buying the game, I get it. But why did you need to go include the battle pass now? The previous game already had loot boxes, it already had an economy, it already had a shop, it had DLC and locked weapons with actual, you know, different stats and shit behind a paywall. It had emotes, character bundles, the whole 9 yards. Why in the fuck do we feel so goddamn inclined to go monetize everything we do in every fucking game that we play? Can you guys please keep your dick in your pants for more than 5 minutes so I can at least understand what this game is without you people already just like, oh, buy all this, please. I am getting so fucking frustrated with playing all these games that just are so samey, you know, same shit, different disc type stuff. And on top of that, why do we have different tiers, different color, you know, rarities for all these fucking hats and shit? I don't understand it. Like, dude, it's a battle pass. Who in the fuck cares if I got this purple ranked hat from the battle pass that pays $10 and like maybe a good like 50 hours of time just for me to go unlock it? And on top of that, What the fuck is this gun customization shit now? It's a good idea in concept. I'm not gonna completely write it off, because honestly, there's some guns in Killing Floor 2 and 1 I did prefer to go have certain sights on. But why the fuck do we have this different ammo type? Why do we have burning and electric and all this shit? It's starting to go make me think of two things. When I see this, and now in the game that they've added, you know, it's more like a rock, paper, scissors of like, oh, this Zed is weak to electric, this Zed is weak to fire and all this, And yeah, the original game had this, but now it's like, why the fuck do I have to go get this loadout with it now? I'm gonna go a bit more into this when we get to the gameplay section at the very end, but I just have to ask, in what fucking way does this benefit the player? It just completely undermines everything that the Killing Floor franchise had pretty much beforehand, which was the weight system, and on top of that, the fact that guns were kind of meant to be somewhat disposable, because you would only use it for a couple rounds, sell it, get the other one that's the next upgrade, and then, you know, rinse and repeat. Again, I'm gonna get there in a minute, but you know my point. There's already a store in this beta, there's already all this shit, there's a fucking hub. It's just so infuriating that we have to go keep going through these same goddamn games that just have to go cheat on everyone's homework, which eventually just already looks like everyone's just playing the same fucking game over and over again.
Want my advice? Stock up on grenades.
How about some silence?
I smell Redditors. Azuki! They're coming!
Just in time. Ready and aiming. Fuck, I forgot to buy ammo.
Oh, my clavicle. Die, 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 die! Bitch! Is it over?
No.
And that's how to give the gift of homemade chocolate chip. Get those brownies out of here, goddammit!
Let's take a minute here to go talk about the characters, Zeds, and voice acting for this game. Now, when it comes to the Zeds, well, I would say most of their designs are overall just a step down, and honestly, they don't make sense. Now, I'm gonna go and say a couple things about these Zeds and, you know, be really pretentious, but please hear me out. So when it comes to the crawlers, you know, in Killing Floor 1 and 2, there are these, like, half spider, half human, you know, hybrid creature things. And, you know, they were very fucking scary. I mean, think about it. It's a horror game, so it should lean into a lot of those spooky designs, right? Well, if I had to say that the crawler represented something, then it represented your fear on the arachnophobia, you know, spiders and insects. And then now in Killing Floor 3, well, it's just an abomination. Like literally, like this, I don't know, this kind of reminds me of The Thing or some dumb shit like that, but I'm sorry, The Thing is cool and this isn't. Let's take a look at the Siren. The Siren is this frail old lady. This corpse got reanimated and came back to life. And it seems to be, you know, with her attack, it seems to be leading on to your fear of torture, and tying in with her attack maybe has something to do with jump scares. Okay, now with Killing Floor 3, she's a robot? What the fuck? Okay, I don't even know what the fuck this is. And then let's take a look at the iconic mascot for this game, the Flesh Pound. Now, the Flesh Pound, I would say it's sort of an amalgamation of a few things, you know? It has to do with oppressive, like, tall, strong figures. And on top of that, it has to do with understandable fear when it comes to, you know, like shit like fucking macerators or grinders, you know, being next to heavy machinery, that kind of shit. Very cool. And then with 3, while the design is a bit more faithful to the previous games, now he can just fucking go-go gadget extendo arms. I mean, I get it has to do with gameplay and we'll talk more about it, but I mean, Let's talk about the survivors. In Killing Floor 1, the survivors are pretty much no-names. They were just, you know, your average soldier, and everyone sound the exact same.
Pratt! You muppet! You gormless tosser! Smeghead! Need to borrow my specs, mate? Wayne Rooney's smarter than you! Oh, get on with it!
In Killing Floor 2, you had some more, named individuals. They had a bio, a name, and they had their own little lore as to, why they're here in the game here. On top of that, I would say that Killing Floor 2 does a little bit more justice to the voice acting and overall, but I still enjoyed the first one, of course.
Money, money, money! Dosh! Grab it while it's hot! Loads of money!
Marks for you, my friend. Danke. But I'm richer than ever.
Need some cash? Here's some money. Awesome. Drinks are on me.
And then now when it comes to 3, well, 2 people are back, and that is, I think his name's Takana, some other shit. He's that samurai guy. He was in Killing Floor 2, which I guess that's cool. And of course, the iconic human character being Mr. Foster. But when it comes to the character designs, I mean, it is more fitting with the futuristic style that they're trying to go to. But again, it's still, I don't like this. Mr. Foster just doesn't look cool with that old-timey gas mask. And now he has this, again, cyberpunk-ass, tactical gear. Can't say I'm a big fan of that. Now we have some fucking futuristic medical guy, which, it's not harmful, it looks good. All these designs are fine, but they don't really speak to me like the Killing Floor 1 team. Alright, finally, the part of the video that actually matters and can have more weight to it besides me just saying I prefer this and this. And that is the 2 biggest, most jarring bits of the gameplay. And we'll talk about them. They got rid of the weight system. Now, you're asking, what is the weight system? Well, in Killing Floor, everyone by default, except for 2 exceptions, have 15 max carry weight. Though how many weapons you can carry and how much you can upgrade them depends on, weapon to weapon. I'll show you a bit in the video here what I mean. But it's because of this that you were allowed to go kind of have some weapons, but also not have some weapons. It was a nice little balanced way of just not only keeping you in check of just how many fucking guns you're keeping on your pants, but also at the same time, just making sure that you don't carry the best guns and just having a constant, power trip. Now, that's very cool. Genuinely. And here's a good example. Now, you remember how I said that there are 2 classes that are actually exempt from this? Well, that would be Support and Specialist. We'll talk about Specialist here in a moment, but Support gets 20 carry weight. You have 20 carry weight for not only shotguns, which are gonna be generally a lot more heavy, but on top of that, that means that you can have more guns. Now, what they did in Killing Floor 3 is completely get rid of that system in order just to have 2 primaries and 1 pistol. What? Why? No, I mean, I'm seriously asking here, why? What does this addition do? Not only does it actually limit your creativity as a player, but also at the same time, it hinders the gameplay experience because why would you give your character less options? And it's not even I gotta work my way around this, like the weight system, where you have to choose smart and all that. No, you just give us 2 primaries. And for fucking what? I wish I could go more in depth with this, but it doesn't make sense. I really wish I could. I don't know what the fuck to say here. Let's go a little bit more in depth with the weight system, shall we? You had these really funny combinations you could do. And for example, the minigun on the Assault class, Commando. Commando specializes when it comes to a lot of LMGs, ARs, that kind of stuff. The minigun has 10 weight. And you can't get any other weapon with that if you buy it, except the starting AR and the L85. On top of that, let's go look over here. So you remember when I said 20 carry weight? Here is a good example of how many weapons I can carry.
You're okay. You're safe. You're safe.
Now, in a standard game, you would not do that, of course. That's pretty fucking dumb. But the fact that you can do it and they let you do it is, well, I think it's pretty cool. For those of you who are a little mentally handicapped, I'm sure you would absolutely love this playstyle. Now, the next jarring change, and I'm sure a lot of you Killing Floor veterans know, they got rid of the perk system and now replaced it with specialists. Now, we'll talk about specialists and more of their problems here in a minute, but let's go over the main one. So, perks in Killing Floor specifically had to do 2 different roles. One of them being the weapons that they had, and secondly, what did they provide for the team? Now, I won't go over everyone because that would make this video way longer than it should should be, but let me go over the two main ones. That being Berserker, or now it's called Ninja, and how every class is actually survivalist. We will now talk about the differences from Killing Floor 2 to now 3. Berserker in 2 had to do with just melee weapons. It could be anything. Scythes, fire axes, katanas, and as you can see with this list, there are some guns in there, but I'll talk about that in a second, because that's something else. Now, in Killing Floor fucking 3, they decided to go have the brightest fucking idea of not only just to go limit it down to a specific kind of weapon, which is just, you know, Japanese shit, like fucking these weird kunai things, the fucking katana, these bows, like, what the fuck, why? I can go back to it again, I can talk about it all day, oh my god, but why? Literally why? What does this do? Not only do you give us fewer weapons, but on top of that, now you give us 4 weapons to choose from, and now you'll probably also notice real quick that there's different tiers. It's going off of the Borderlands ass fucking weapon design, where every weapon, oh, some of them are like corrosive, some of them are electric, it's like that, but there's I'm getting mad. Now, I don't really know. I can't tell you much about the weapons as to why they did this RPG-like aesthetic, and now why they only gave us 4 options. I'm not sure what was the reason behind that, but I have a theory. I think that they locked these behind specialists because they are yet again trying to follow trends, like Overwatch, Apex, Rainbow Six. I mean, I can go on and on, but I'm not going to go on a third fucking tangent, now am I? But the biggest question here, too, is not only just the specific weapons, and now it's locked behind a character. No. Let's talk about the biggest thing in the fucking room, and that is, why in the fuck can people buy ammo packs, syringe packs? Why is it that things that should be specifically locked behind perks are now being able to be bought by everybody? It doesn't make sense. Again, I want to go in depth with this, I really do, but it doesn't make fucking sense. In Killing Floor 2, supply packs weren't really supply packs. You just had to go up to the support, which was the guy with the shotgun, and then you would take ammo from them. Typically, you would go to the medic to go get healed, but on top of that, anyone could use the medic's weapon in Killing Floor 2, but they didn't use it necessarily for killing, they just used it because you could heal with that, which kind of is a balancing problem, but they also added it to Killing Floor 3 as well, so, and the fucking specialists also have an ultimate ability, because of course they fucking do. Now, let's talk about Survivalist real quick, so you guys understand the context. Survivalist is a jack of all trades, a okay at all, but not necessarily amazing at anything. The only time you really want to go run Survivalist is just in case you really want to go, you know, work with yourself or, you know, try to be like a pseudo version of another class, but you still want to do all these off-class things with it, which is why I like Survivalist. Now, Survivalist is highly criticized because it's not a very team-oriented perk, and honestly, even though there are some perks that allow you to go do stuff with like the medic weapons, maybe you just want to go have more weight, be the guy that takes down the big Zeds, you know, all that stuff, it's a very interesting class, and I think it's genuinely overhated, but that's not really the point. The point I'm bringing it up is because I had a fucking screenshot somewhere here, man. I really did. It showed that like a couple of these perks, because they, you know, the perks aren't just like 2 options, like an entire ass fucking RPG skill system, because of course it fucking is. And there was one that literally just said like, oh yeah, you get like a 10% damage increase, and it was just across the board. It wasn't a specific weapon like explosion or like simple bullets or anything. It was a 10% damage increase, and blah blah. They added glory kills for some fucking reason. You can now slide, cause of course you fucking can. I can keep on going, and I really would like to, but I'm running out of material here, as you can see, because I didn't get much of it when I played it, because I was just so fucking irritated at it. But did I make my point? Did I make my point that I think this game isn't good? Now, when it comes to Killing Floor 2, I can dismantle this shit from the ground up. With 3, I really can't do that with the lack of footage I have, and the game's not even being out yet. As you can see from this announcement, it looks like that my complaints aren't really unfounded. But more importantly, I can just go on about a lot of things with 2 that I really hope don't carry over to 3, but it seems like it did carry over to 3. You remember back when I said how come there were guns in the Berserker category? It's because later in Killing Floor 2's lifestyle, a lot of the weapons became cross-perk weapons, and then like, because of that, you would just get these weird examples of like, oh, okay, well, this is this, so, you know, technically this class uses it, so, oh, you know. Again, I maybe I'll make another video talking about Killing Floor 2 in the future, but let's talk about Killing Floor 3, and let me conclude this shit. Killing Floor 3, I have absolutely no faith for. I'm sorry to tell you, I know people are screaming, oh, this is bad, oh, you bad faith, bad faith. If anything, this video is coming from good faith because I played Killing Floor 1, I've played Killing Floor 2, bought multiple of the DLC, and on top of that, I've sang so much praise for 2, primarily, compared to 3. This is coming from a place of, I want this game to be good, but unfortunately, there have been so many red flags of Tripwire being just yet again another fucking company that is just following trends, following what's popular, instead of just going down the route of what already fucking works. So maybe when Killing Floor 3 comes out, maybe, just maybe, I'll talk about it again. But to be honest, I'm really just completely tired of this. And honestly, you know, I said that this video wasn't going to be that long, and here it is, and it's around 30 minutes. So who would have fucking thought?
Is it over?
No, we still have to fight the Patriarch.
I'll kill ya! I'll fucking kill you all!
Oh god!
That minigun cannot have infinite ammo, bro. Okay, I checked the scripts. Once he reloads, I'm gonna need you to do your Marissa smash, okay? Okay, I think he's reloading. Go for it.
Don't you understand? You're hurting people. You're hurting your friends, your loved ones, the Azuki Snoy Incorporated, my profit margins.
When I was in Zeds, I'd get nuggies, I'd get wedgies, I'd get fucking Indian burns, I'd get swirlies, and me dad got me a dog. And this fucking dog Super, right? When I brought him to the playground, I thought he was gonna fucking protect me, right? When everyone was giving me wedgies. He fucking joined in, lad!
That was a very touching story. You know, I think you just need some friends. How about you join us and work here at our company? But first, you need to drink this. Now, get to work.